actually include a video of myself so you'd be able to focus, and the video might cover the important details of my discussion. So this day I'm going to talk about the syntax. But before anything else, there is a warning because this topic may get complicated. And I have already anticipated that you might raise a lot of questions, but in this topic, I am just going to give you the simplest form of understanding of what is a syntax, since this actually could be preferable to be discussed in person. However, because of the new normal, let's just have it this way, the simplest the better. But I'm willing to give an aid once the situation gets better soon. So as what I have said, syntax is one of the sentence patterns of language, and this presentation is adapted from Lands Manipur. So before you get confused, grammar is a mental representation of a speaker's linguistical competence. So if you say linguistical competence, the moment the person talk or speak or say something, if the grammar is correct, you would be able to say na, okay, maayo jud ay siya sa language. So basically, this is labeled as the linguistical competence of the speaker. And as well as, it is what a speaker knows about the language, including its phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and lexicon. So, if the speaker, again, is good in this, Aishama pronounce, word formation, and writing a sentence, the person is basically representing or talking about grammar in English and could be labeled as linguistically competent. While syntax, this just talks about the rules of sentence formation. If I say rules of sentence formation, how words are arranged in a sentence for us to understand the information the person is trying to tell us. This is a component of a mental grammar that represents speakers' knowledge of the structure of phrases and sentences. So basically, giun sa pagpurma ang usa ka sentence, mao na ang syntax. Giun sa pag-arrange for us nga makasabuta kung unsa ang gusto niya isulti sa atoa. That is syntax. So, syntax could mean together, or an order, or an arrangement, but it directly refers to the rules and principles that govern the sentence structure of any individual language. So, to sum it all up, it's a structure of a sentence. How the words are arranged properly in a sentence to give meaning for the information relayed to us. Kaya di ba, if the words or the ideas are not arranged properly or ordered properly in the sentence, the outcome there is we will have difficulty in understanding kung sa iyang gusto ipasabot. So that's a syntax. Example, Chief swore President the justice the in you. So you may wonder what does it mean. They said that sequence is made up of meaningful words. But does it make sense? So these are meaningful words. Chief is a meaningful word. These are all meaningful words. However, does it make sense? Every sentence is a sequence of words, and that's correct. But not every sequence of words is a sentence. So, na siya sequence. These are meaningful words. However, not every sequence of word is a sentence. Because again, a sentence expresses a complete thought. And the question is, does this sentence express does this group of words or sequence of words express a complete thought? The answer is obvious. It does not. Sequence of words that conform to the rules of syntax are said to be well-formed. So, if ang sequence ko na sa words is conform to the rules of syntax. Meaning the rules of syntax is sakto ang pagkasunod niya, well arranged. It is called well formed or grammatical. So we usually term this as correct grammar or correct grammar ka. But in the language of linguistics, we term this one as grammatical. In the grammatical, sakto, ni conform siya sa rules sa syntax. And those that violate the syntactic rules are therefore otherwise called ill-formed or ungrammatical. So we usually say wrong grammar, right? So it's still correct. However, in the linguistic language, we term this one as ungrammatical. So ningon ta, or your sentence is ungrammatical. In short, wrong grammar. So pero mas sakto isulti nga maingon tag ungrammatical in the language of English. Well-formed grammatical are the sequence of words that conform to the rules of syntax, as what I have said a while ago. And the other one is ungrammatical or ill-formed, that those violate the syntactic rules. So again, if correct ang follow ka sa syntactic rule, it's grammatical. Otherwise, ungrammatical. And these rules accounts for grammaticality of the sentence, ang pagkasakto sa sentence, word order, the structural ambiguity, grammatical relations, whether different structures have different meanings, and the creative aspect of language. So these actually are the rules of syntax. And next is the sentence structure. We actually term this one as the tree diagram. So the tree diagram composes of the root, leaves, hierarchical structure, and the constituent structures. The root comprises the entire sentence. The leaves are the individual words. The hierarchical structures are the groupings, and the constituent structures follows. So if you can see, this is the tree diagram. So you'll come to understand this one better as you progress with the discussion. So this is the root, the leaves, the hierarchical structure, and the constituents. So the sentence structure or the constituent structures refers to the sentence as one or more. So ang sentence napa siya another murag extension mana constituent structure. This one mura siya ang sanga, ang pinakasanga. So syntactic categories refers to this following: the noun phrase or the subject or object in the sentence, and we have this one, the acronym NP, the verb phrase, the VP, and the verb by it could be noun phrase or verb phrase, prepositional phrase. What do you mean by this? So mura siya ang sanga sa verb phrase, pwede ra siya na ay noun phrase and prepositional phrase. We have the sentence, determiner, adjective, adverb, and a noun. I guess you are so familiar with this no, since you have been meeting this one since elementary years. However, I am just showing you how to, kung sa term pa sa science, we are going to dissect the sentence to its kung ano yung pinakaunod kung unsa dyan naa dinha. So another, we have pronoun, preposition, prepositional phrase, auxiliary verb, and the verb itself. So the phrase structure trees or a tree diagram with syntactic category information is provided with syntactic labels. So example, we have the tree diagram here, and our sentence or the root is the child found the puppy. So if you are going to have this in a tree diagram, we label this one as a sentence. Then we extend here and divide this one into two. Always remember that the sentence consists of a noun phrase and a verb phrase. The noun phrase here is the child. Why it's a noun phrase? Because a noun phrase consists of a noun and introduced by a determiner. and the verb phrase, of course, with the verb itself. So the noun phrase is a child, and the verb phrase is found the puppy. Let's try to go down. Noun phrase here, let's break it down into two categories. The is a determiner. Child is a noun, and that completes the noun phrase. Another, the verb phrase. The verb phrase here starts with a verb, of course, which is the word found, and the noun phrase, another noun phrase, atong i-break down again, the puppy. And ato na sa i-break down ang noun phrase, which is, remember here, di ba? Ato siyang i-break them to two. So the same thing here. The puppy, which is the noun phrase, consists of the as a determiner and puppy as the noun. So in an natata break down of tree diagram. So again, if you try to look at it here, this is the root, the leaves, the hierarchical structure, and the constituent structures. Okay. So, tantawon na itong ubang words. This is how we actually properly do a tree diagram. Sentence, noun phrase, verb phrase, then noun phrase, determiner, noun, then verb phrase, and another noun phrase, the verb, the determiner, and the noun phrase the noun under the noun phrase. So, the child found the puppy. So that completes the entire sentence. This is the syntactic categories. May syntactic categories, noun phrase, and verb phrase. Yung lexical categories, remember, di ba katumingin lexical, if it's a verb, if it's a noun, if it's an adjective, those are lexical categories. So these are the lexical categories. And always remember that all of these are important in identifying a tree diagram structure. So let's have another example. So we have the sentence, a noun phrase, and a verb phrase. Our first here we have the determiner and the noun, the boy. And we have a verb phrase. Let's break it down to verb, a noun phrase, and a prepositional phrase. The verb is saw. The noun phrase is determiner. Then we have the noun, the man, and the prepositional phrase, and break it down into preposition, with, and let's break down the prepositional phrase to another noun phrase, which is determiner, and the noun, which is the telescope. The boy saw the man with the telescope. And let's reveal ambiguities here. May tag-ambiguities ka ng makalibog na idea. So if you try to look at here, di ba? Tanawan ninyo, verb, noun phrase, and prepositional phrase. But let's reveal the ambiguity. So that could just actually directly be a noun phrase immediately. A noun phrase which is the that, the da, and then noun man, and break it down to noun phrase. So P is for preposition, and noun phrase for that and telescope. Kung tanawan ninyo here, prepositional phrase. Sakto ra sad siya. However, this could be revealed this way. Pwede na po siya noun phrase, and pwede na po siya prepositional phrase if there is a preposition. Both could do. Pwede na siya. So, the infinitude of language. Its limitless aspect of language is reflected in the phrase structure. So, mura siya walay katapusan nga pagka himo sa tree diagram. So, from a noun phrase, you break down to determiner, then noun is girl, then break that into prepositional phrase. P is for with, preposition. Then noun phrase is the determiner the, then noun phrase noun, feather, and you break down upon to prepositional phrase. So, P for on, preposition, then another noun phrase, determiner the, noun ribbon, then you break down upon to prepositional phrase. Preposition on, then you break down upon to noun phrase, which is the, which is for determiner, and N noun for brim. So the girl with the feather on the ribbon on the brim. So if you notice, no, infinite siya, way katapusan, balik-balik lang siya. Sir, wala lagi siya ka ng verb phrase. So okay ra siya kung wala verb phrase. That could be done this way. So again, mo nang giingon nga, you would be able to discover it once you have already built the tree diagram. So, but as the structures grow longer, they become more increasingly difficult to produce and understand due to short-term memory limitation, muscular fatigue, breathlessness, etc. So, marag lisod na siya kung yun ani kataas ang sentence. So, para dili mo maglibog, no, what composes each structure? So, these are the rules. A sentence only composes of a noun phrase or a verb phrase. Moro jud na siya, wala na ilain. Dili siya pwede sentence unya noun phrase, duha ka noun phrase, noun phrase and noun phrase wrong. Dili siya pwede inana. So noun phrase, verb phrase only, or a noun phrase only. And what composes a noun phrase? So for example, after nimo i-break down ang sentence, ang noun phrase could compose of determiner, adjective, a noun, or a prepositional phrase. So mao kini ang mo under sa iyaha. Pero, in absence of this, pwede ra siya that og another sentence. And I'll show you example later on para di mo maglibog. And a noun phrase could also just consist of a pronoun. So, we have here the verb phrase. So, the verb phrase, ang mga sanga sa verb phrase are the following. The verb, the noun phrase. So, again, class, pwede ra na ang noun phrase sa verb phrase, prepositional phrase, and an adverb. Again, kani sila nga nakita niyo here, mo ni sila ang mga sanga katong mga nag-ingon-ingon nga mga arrows padung ubos. And these are the main. Another is the prepositional phrase. So what consists of a prepositional phrase? Pronoun ra jud, preposition ra jud na og noun phrase. Walay verb phrase, walay adverb, but only these two. So di mo magpataka og sanga-sanga sa ilaha kay naa tay rule nga gi-follow. So kung mag tree structure na ta, pwede ra mo revisit ani nga structural rule. So example, mo ni siya ang basic sentence, noun phrase and a verb phrase. As a noun phrase here, the boy, and verb phrase found the ball. So mo ni siya ang structure sa sentence. Second, noun phrase, example, kani siyang structure nga na determiner, adjective, noun o prepositional phrase. So determiner is the, beautiful is the adjective, noun is the girl, and prepositional phrase is, unsa tong structure sa prepositional phrase? A preposition and another noun phrase. So preposition on, the noun phrase, the piano. So di ba klaro ra kaayo? Next. So a noun phrase consists of the word that and another sentence. Example, yun siya nga kani nga sentence, that I love Jenny. So noun phrase is kani siya nga structure that, then it's an I love Jenny is another sentence. So yun ani kung another sentence na gani ang mo form, we create a triangle and ibutang ang word sa ubos, I love Jenny. Okay. So example, nga embedded ang sentence sa usa ka sentence. So we have here the sentence, the suitor knows that I love Jenny. The sentence is noun phrase and a verb phrase. So a noun phrase, we have the as the noun, and determiner, the noun phrase suitor, which is a noun, then verb phrase, verb knows, then noun phrase, that, and another sentence, I love Jenny. This is an embedded sentence in a sentence. Let's continue with the rule. Noun phrase. So, katong giingon ako ganina nga, pwede ra pronoun ra ang naa sa ubos sa noun phrase. So, I, the word, the pronoun I, you, and we are the examples. Next is the structure of verb phrase. So again, these are the compositions of verb phrase. Verb, another noun phrase, prepositional phrase, and an adverb. So I'll say verb here, blue. Noun phrase, the boat, Kung ato na siyang isa nga na pod ang noun phrase, usaragod ni siyang the determiner. Ang both, noun. Okay. Prepositional phrase. So, atong isa nga. Asa ang preposition? Into. Diba? Prepositional phrase consists of a preposition and a noun phrase. So, we have a noun phrase here, the determiner, the, and the noun, water. And the adverb is suddenly. So, ingin na ara ko maghimo ka og tree diagram. And lastly, so matang yun akong gibalik-balik na example, a prepositional phrase composes of a preposition and a noun phrase. And a noun phrase composes of a determiner and a noun. Example, preposition of, for, and by. And now the determiners here are the, and the nouns are people, people, people. And the words, the people, are called noun phrase. Alright. Any question? If there's none, I thank you. So let's try to dissect it into a tree diagram. The main sentence, and let's divide it into two. Noun phrase, verb phrase. Remember, di ba, ang noun phrase, pwede rin pronoun ang sod. So, I, then the verb phrase, we have verb, and a pronoun. So, thank you. I thank you. So, if you have any questions, just message me personally, and I'll give you activities in regards with this, basic activities lang sata, so you'll be able to understand. Thank you. Have a good day.